We've got about 30 seconds before we get started. So feel free to chat amongst yourselves. We'll call our meeting to order. Thank you, everybody, for joining us this morning. We are excited to get started, and with that, we'll go roll call.
Yes, Madam President, all board members are present.
Thank you. If you could please stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance, Dr. Beresford is going to lead us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We have several items on the consent, from personnel claims, payroll, approval of gifts, and then minutes from previous meetings. May I get a motion on the table to approve consent?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none, we'll take a vote. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Thank you. Next, we have action items. Our first action item for today is item 3.1, material rentals and fee changes for 21-22. Dr. Dudley?
Yes, thank you. So at the last meeting, I brought for discussion the changes in material fee rentals for the upcoming school year, and it's recommended that the board approve the changes for the 2021-22 school year.
Thank you. May I get a motion on the table to approve the rental and fee changes for 21-22?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Discussion. Amy, just one quick discussion item. Could you please review with us the statute or why it is that we actually have fee rentals as compared to some other states that do not?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so in Indiana, we do have a statute that allows us to charge fee rental for textbooks and materials that we use in the classroom, and we use that over a 6-year period, and so we charge the fee rental over a 6-year period to help pay for the cost of the materials that the students use in the classroom, like their textbooks and such.
Okay, if we have families that are unable to afford those rental fees, how does that work?
Yes, so our students, our families that are unable to afford those, they can apply for textbook assistance, which also is ties for the reduced or free lunch. But now for this year, because of COVID, lunch is free for all students, but they still need to apply for the textbook assistance part.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions? Thank you. All those in favor of supporting the material rental and fee changes for 2021-22 signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Thank you. Next, we have the bid award for the HVAC equipment and replacement at the Carmel Life and Learning Center. Mr. McMichael.
Thank you. As you noted, this is for the Carmel Life and Learning Center, which, as the board's aware, is also where our wellness center is housed. And this project will replace all the heating and air conditioning for that building.
Thank you, Mr. McMichael. May I get a motion on the table to approve the bid award for the HVAC equipment at the Carmel Life and Learning Center?
So moved.
Thank you, Pam. Second?
Second.
Thank you, Katie. Discussion. Pam?
Yes, Roger, is this the initial or the original system that was in the building when it was built?
I don't know if it was when it was built or not. I believe so, but when the building was converted from the library to an educational facility, it had a major renovation at that time, but I don't believe this equipment was replaced then.
Okay, that's what I was wondering. Thank you.
Louise?
Roger, what is the process or our philosophy around ensuring that vendor submissions have some diversity included in them?
Well, we don't have a definite assurance of that, but we by statute, we advertise for bids, but we also solicit bids. And when we're inviting bids, if we're, depending on the project, we would include minority-owned businesses at that point.
Thank you.
On that note, it's more than just minority-owned. You also reach out to women-owned businesses as well?
Yeah, that's
Female?
included
Okay,
in the
that's good.
minority.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions or comments? Thank you. We'll go ahead and take a vote then. All those in favor of supporting the bid award for the HVAC equipment replacement at Carmel Life and Learning Center, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Seeing none, motion carries 5-0. Next, we have a series of bylaws and policies for approval. We've seen these several times, so with that, I'm going to ask that we take those as a group, 3.3 to 3.7. So, Dr. Dudley, will you please speak to these?
Yes. So as you stated, we have seen these before. So the first one is our bylaw 0123, the philosophy of the board. There's one change in there. It's something the board already does, but to do a yearly board self-evaluation, adding to that to the bylaw. The public information policy speaks to our social media and how we use social media in as a district to communicate with our staff. The teacher appreciation grant policy is the policy that we need to renew each year for the board for the money for our teacher appreciation grant that we receive in December for the teachers to use based on their evaluation. This money comes from the state, and the board needs to update that policy each year. The inspection and use of certain instructional materials and surveys is a policy that just has one small change in that, just to identify what we're talking about with the surveys that are not used for academic uses, and so we just clarify that in that policy. And then the last one, the student records policy, has a change in there that includes putting the student and parent email in the student records, so that for our PTOs, we can release that for our PTOs to use so that they can communicate with parents at their school for upcoming events that are happening at the school.
Thank you. May I get a motion to approve 3.3 to 3.7? So moved. Second? Second. Discussion. Just one quick discussion or comment on the student records policy. And parents can opt in or opt out to have that information released?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Seeing no other questions, we will go ahead and take a vote. All those in favor of supporting action items 3.3 through 3.7, please signify by saying aye. 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 Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Thank you. Next on the agenda, we have our reports. We have Superintendent's report. Dr. Beresford.
Well, I don't want to, spoil the new track record for the fastest board meeting in the history of Carmel Clay Schools, and I really appreciate everybody coming out for such a short agenda. But so I won't add anything other than school's off to a good start. We had a few bumps at the beginning, but now I feel like we're ironing those out and getting in some good spaces, and we'll keep working and as we progress in the year to keep getting better, and really appreciate the efforts of all of our staff. A lot of extra hours to open 2 new schools, and with redistricting, there was just a lot of work to be done, and then with the COVID spike and the things going on, just made it more difficult. So it's a bumpy start, but it's once we get started, we keep moving and start getting better, and we grow as we go. So really appreciate it, and it's just wonderful to see our kids back in classrooms with their teachers, and always our mission for kids to attend every single day, and that's what we'll keep striving for, and but we're ready to pivot if the environment, whichever way the environment goes. So with that, I'll end my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Beresford. And for announcements, really, we just have a few. Our upcoming meetings, we're all off on Labor Day. That will be September 6th. We will have a board workshop on September 13th. And then on the 27th of September, we will have a regular session. And last but not least, October 14th and 15th, this October break. So hopefully that'll be an opportunity for you and your family to enjoy some time together. Next on the agenda is adjournment. May I get a motion to adjourn our meeting?
So moved. Second.
Thank you. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries. Thank you.